The True Story Behind Killers of the Flower Moon, the movie by acclaimed film director Martin Scorsese. The film is based on a sinister murder conspiracy in 1920s Oklahoma and stars regular collaborators Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. The movie was adapted from a non-fiction book by David Gran, which chronicled a vast and complex plot in which the perpetrators lied, killed, and even married into families to steal the rights to oil on their land. The conspiracy led to one of the very first murder investigations by the FBI. The Osage Nation, a Native American tribe of the Great Plains, were driven from their Kansas lands in the late 19th century. They relocated to a rocky, barren reservation in northeastern Oklahoma where the land was considered worthless. That was until the 1890s, when some of the largest oil deposits in the United States at the time were discovered there, making the inhabitants insanely wealthy. By the 1920s, the Osage people collectively received more than $400 million in today's dollars, making them the wealthiest people per capita in the world. They spent their newly found wealth on terracotta mansions, had chauffeured cars, hired servants, and sent their children to private school. However, a group of businessmen launched a conspiracy to steal the oil right out from under the Osage people, using illegal means and even murder where necessary. This scheme was led by William Hale, played by De Niro in the film, who built a ranch on the Osage Reservation and became rich raising cattle there, becoming known as the King of Osage Hills. Rights to the oil revenue could only be legally obtained by outsiders if they married into the tribe. So Hale encouraged his nephew, Ernest Burkhart, played by DiCaprio, to marry Molly Kyle, portrayed by Lily Gladstone, an Osage woman living with her mother, Lizzie Q, in Fairfax, Oklahoma. It wasn't long before members of the family turned up dead. Kyle's sister Anna Brown was found shot to death in May 1921, and 2 months later, Lizzie Q died of a suspected poisoning. In March 1923, another of Lizzie's daughters died, along with her husband, when their home was destroyed by an explosion. Burkhart and Kyle saw their fortunes grow as they inherited the estates of these family members. Lizzie's nephew Harry Rohn also died in 1923, and Hale fraudulently named himself the beneficiary of Rohn's $25,000 life insurance policy, according to Gran's book. Meanwhile, other Osage people from outside the family were also dying under mysterious or suspicious circumstances. The Osage killings became one of the first murder investigations launched by the FBI, which was then called the Bureau of Intelligence. Tom White, portrayed by Jesse Plemons, led the investigation, which involved agents going undercover as insurance salesmen, cattle buyers, and citizens to gather evidence. Hale quickly fell under suspicion, and although some members of local law enforcement attempted to derail the federal investigation, Hale and Burkhart were arrested in 1926 for their part in the conspiracy. Another conspirator named Kelsey Morrison was also arrested after he admitted to murdering Anna Brown, according to Gran's book. It is estimated at least 24 Osage people were killed as a result of Hale's conspiracy. Hale, Burkhart, and another conspirator named John Ramsey were all convicted and sentenced to life in the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. Prior to his conviction, Burkhart told the authorities he feared Hale would have him bumped off, according to Gran. Morrison, already in prison for an unrelated crime, also received a life sentence. Burkhart was set free after receiving a pardon by Oklahoma Governor Henry Bellman in 1965. He died in 1986 at age 94. Hale was paroled in 1947 after serving 2 decades of his sentence, and he died in 1962 at age 87. Against all odds, Molly Kyle survived Hale and Burkhart's murderous conspiracy. The killers had started poisoning her, but she recovered and survived long enough to divorce Burkhart following his trial. She remarried, then died in 1937 at age 50.